Hello, welcome back to Little House in the Big Woods. Today I am cooking, and I haven't done cooking in a while, but I'm partnering up with a apartment prepper and some other channels I'll list below that are doing a collaboration for SHTF meal plans to have some ideas. So today I'm making some enchiladas. I've made some homemade enchilada sauce, and I browned my meat already so that I would just take the time. So all I'm going to do now is get my heat going again, and I'm going to start. I've got my pan heating up for my corn tortillas, and I'm going to put my rice in there to start browning up. And in my meat, I'm going to add my onions, and some spices. So I love cumin, so I've got some cumin here. I've got garlic and onion powder, a little paprika, sorry. I'm going to tell you I'll probably use about a teaspoon. I do have a little bit of beef bouillon, probably about a teaspoon and a half of that one. I'm going to put about a half of, maybe, let's go with a whole cilantro. It's dried cilantro, and then just a tad of oregano, not too much, maybe like half a teaspoon, and then just about a half a teaspoon, or that's more like maybe a half a teaspoon. Maybe like a fourth of a teaspoon of chili pepper. Now I'll keep these out, and then as I'm cooking, if I want more, I'll add more. So I wanted to tell you about this homemade enchilada sauce. Some of you might have seen these kind of chilies in your store, but you can all you do is take the seeds out of the chili. Take the seeds out of the chili. They're already dry, and you can stir my rice here. Get a couple tortillas on. Now, I have a little bit of oil on for my tortillas, but you don't have to. That's the way my husband likes it. So I'm browning my onions in here, getting these enchiladas or the seasons all married together with the meat. Let me see. I'll turn my heat down a little bit. Anyways, with the enchilada sauce, let's go with that again. So you take your pepper, and this morning I took about 8 of them, and I ground them in my blender, and it makes like not a fine powder, but it makes a powder out of it. So then you add about 4 tablespoons of oil to your pan, and you cook it for about 15 seconds just to get it mixed in with that oil and bring those peppers back alive. And because I don't have a high-powered blender, I ran it through the strainer a couple of times. It makes, you probably have, because I did have some powder on hand, so I think that in order to get about a half a cup of powder, you're going to have to go with about, let's see, I did 8 this morning. So I'm going to say it would take maybe like a whole bag, maybe like 10 to 12 of those. So once you get that all done, you cook that for 15 seconds with the oil, about the 4 tablespoons of oil, and then you add in about a half a cup of tomato sauce, and you mix and you let it simmer for about 15 minutes. So I've already done that this morning. Now I've got my tortillas here. I've cooked a little bit too long, but I'll work with it. So I'm going to add a little bit of my enchilada sauce to the bottom of my pan. You can see that in this pan it's not real thick or anything like that. If you do want your enchilada sauce a little bit thicker, go ahead and simmer a little bit longer, or just get a can of this red sauce. You can have, I'm going to turn my heat off on my hamburger and let it simmer just a minute. So these ones got 2 done. Anyways, they'll soften up just a little bit when I get them in the pan. So I'm browning my rice. I'm doing it the way that my mother-in-law showed me how she does it. And you want to brown it to where it gets kind of like that off dark kind of white color. One thing I didn't add this morning, which I could do real quick, I'll be right back. I'm going to get me a chopped onion. Okay, I got my chopped onion. It don't take long for that onion to saute. Now, if you're in an SHTF situation, you may not have pre-made tortillas. I cheated. I have tortillas and the corn tortillas more because they take a little bit more time to make. But you can make tortillas. I keep masa in my cupboard, and you can make that. I'm going to let those saute just for a minute, and then I'll add my chicken broth and spices to that. And then I'll put a lid over it and let it simmer for about 10 minutes, and then we'll come back to it. So while we got that going on, maybe I'll try to dress up some of these enchiladas. Cleaning up some of my mess here so I have a little bit of room. Turn down my heat a little bit. For the longest time, I always had problems with my rice because I always try to make it the way that my mother-in-law and father-in-law always made it. It always tasted so good. But really, with rice, you just have to let it rest. That's how you get the softest point of your... Okay, so I have these tortillas. Let me take these ones off real quick. Can you tell I'm not used to recording myself while I'm cooking? So, but I try. Anyways, I have these tortillas and they're done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip them in the enchilada sauce. This is my husband's favorite way. I'm dipping them in enchilada sauce, and that again makes them a little bit softer. And it coats your tortilla. And I'm also going to add just a little bit of that enchilada sauce to my meat. Oops. Not a lot, but just enough to make it a little bit moist when they're in your enchilada. So this is about good. I probably added, let's see, this is probably, I probably put 2/3 cups of enchiladas sauce in there, but you know, you do how you like it. And my rice is still getting a little too hot here. That one's the back one. No, okay. So where I'm going to add in my bouillon, and yeah, it's going to steam. Let me get my lid here. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to clean that up so it doesn't make a big mess. Okay, sorry about that. Got my mess cleaned up. So now I'm going to let that rice cook for about, I would say probably about 10 minutes. Let it simmer in this pan as soon as it starts to boil. And I let it simmer for about 10 minutes. And then I will shut it off and put my lid on it. My tortillas are done here. And add some more tortillas. Got a few pieces of rice still on there. That'll be okay. Things happen. Anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and dip these again. So I'll go ahead and show you how I prepare these enchiladas now that I got a few in here. So I take my, get my cheese here. Oh, I need to add my spices to my rice. So in here I have 2 cups or 4 cups of chicken, or not chicken, beef broth. Now I'm going to add again my, and 4 cups of beef broth and a 1/2 cup of tomato. So I'm going to add in again some paprika, chili powder, and about the same equal amounts that I added to my hamburger. So about a teaspoon of, well, I would say probably 2 teaspoons of cumin, onion, or not 2 teaspoons, it has to be 2 teaspoons of cumin for sure, but everything else, so we got onion powder, garlic, a little bit of paprika, and a little bit of chili powder, and some cilantro in here. So that's coming to a boil. Sorry. We're all, oh, I'm still making a mess. So let's go back to our meat mixture. I'm going to go ahead and put in meat on all of these enchiladas. Just easier to go that way if you get a little bit of a... And I'm going to go ahead and put my oven on about 350 so we can put these enchiladas in the oven. I always check my oven, make sure there's nothing in there. So then after I got that meat mixture on there, I'm going to go ahead and add some cheese to each. Now, okay, sorry about that. My phone shut off while I was trying to record. So what I'm going to do here is try to finish and show you. So anyways, you want to add about as much cheese as you want. And then I take it and kind of, I don't know if you can see that very well, but I roll it over, kind of make it into a burrito, and then I put it in the pan. So that's what these look like right now. So what I'm going to do now is I have the rest of my enchilada sauce. I'm going to give that a quick stir. And then I'm going to take it and pour it over my enchiladas over my pan. Now you can make it as saucy or as what you want, but this is generally how we like to eat them. And I use, my favorite thing to use is, I'll do a pork roast, and I will use that. So anyways, I'm covering these with cheese, and then I'm going to stick them in the oven for probably 25-30 minutes, just enough to melt the cheese because everything else is cooked in here. And I did start some green beans. I got them cooked, and my rice is still steaming. So I'll come back in a minute when these are through to show you what they look like. Okay, sorry about that. I gotta adjust. Anyways, just pulled those out of the oven. Let me show you what they look like a little bit up close. Hello. Sorry. So the video got cut off again, and I was editing, and I found out, oh, well, I guess I better go back there and add an ending to that. So anyways, this video was part of that collaboration, and so they're going to be having a playlist, and so you can go to that playlist and look at those other recipes that you may enjoy, and see if you find anything useful from those. So thanks for stopping by Little House in the Big Woods, and I hope you're having a great day, and see you next time. Goodbye.